Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to join you this afternoon to share some key facts with respect to yes, with respect to initiatives that are happening within the Caribbean region. So I'll speak to you on the Caribbean Geospatial Development Initiative, and then we'll get into the Canada Technical Assistance Program, which is supporting 2 Caribbean member states currently, of which we would like to expand to other Caribbean member states. And then we'll also get into SERGA some more, and how it is that we'd also like it to expand in terms of how many Caribbean countries can benefit from being involved in that initiative. So my name is Simone Lloyd. I serve as the Caribbean Vocal that sits on UN-GGCE Americas on the board, and I also serve as chair of the Caribbean Geospatial Development Initiative Steering Committee. Okay. Wonderful. So I'm going to quickly run through a couple of things. So, of course, we can appreciate where the Caribbean is. It's within the Americas. It's a sub-region. It's sandwiched by North America, South America, and Central America. With that, we have 16 member states and territories that are part of UN-GGCE Americas, but in a wider context, we have 28 SIDS, small island developing states, and that's 28 of a total of 58 that make up the globe in terms of 6 regions, SIDS regions. And that's significant. So the Caribbean has approximately 50% of the SIDS globally. With that, there are particular key challenges that we have as a region, and so important for us is how best it is that geospatial information, geospatial technologies can aid or advance our understanding of these issues and how best to find solutions within the context of where we sit geographically and the various environmental factors that impact us. So the CARIGEO, the Caribbean Geospatial Development Initiative, it is coordinated by a steering committee. And the steering committee has 2 arms. It has member states as members, but it also has a technical arm. So as member states, we have active participation by Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, St. Lucia, also Trinidad and Tobago, and Jamaica serving currently as the chair. Previously, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So apart from the member states who are core, since we're the ones who sit within the Caribbean, we have the challenges, we know how best, what it is our priorities as nation states, but also what are the priorities of our region. We're supported by technical arms also in terms of key entities. And who are these? So these include UN-GGCE Americas in terms of the board itself, also ECLAC. So ECLAC, Port of Spain as the Caribbean sub-regional focal point that sits in Port of Spain, but also ECLAC CEPAL here that sits here as the headquarters. In addition, under UN-GGCE Americas, there's a private sector network, also the academic network. Also, we are served by INIGI, which sits in Mexico, so they provide significant support with respect to different Caribbean projects over time. So the building out of core networks in many Caribbean countries has been attributed significantly to funding which would have been provided by Mexico through INIGI. All right? And there's currently a digital twin project coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, which is also funded by Mexico. So Mexico is key in terms of technical support and also funding of geospatial activities, in particular Geodesy-related activities within the region. Did I miss out anyone? I think we have everybody. Oh, and also U.S. Census Bureau, through the high-level group of the Integrated Geospatial Information Framework, also sits in terms of technical support. So what is our aim? Our aim as CARIGEO is to geospatially advance, geo-empower the Caribbean region. So how it is, what is the importance of geospatial information, key with respect to its efficiency in terms of how it is managed, how it is used to advance our efforts, the importance of that, the importance of collaborations, partnerships, the importance of the integrated geospatial information framework, and how that will help member states bridge the digital divide and for no one to be left behind, which is the mantra of the United Nations. So with that, the building out of spatial data infrastructures, nationally, but also regionally throughout the Caribbean. With that, there are key things that we focus on as CariGeo. So partnerships and collaborations. Much of what we're able to achieve as a region is based on the forging of partnerships and collaborations. Key. So whether it be within the region itself or we're getting support from the wider Americas or outside the Americas, these collaborations, partnerships are key for us. In addition to that, the importance of us, because we're serving Caribbean member states. With that, we need to be able to understand what are the needs of Caribbean member states. So being able to ensure that there's a free flow of information, communication happens with them in terms of frequency, and so there's clarity also in terms of what these needs are and if we are meeting those needs based on all the different projects, programs, and initiatives that we are pushing. Also key, as I mentioned before, the IGIF, the Integrated Geospatial Information Framework. So we support the hosting of regional workshops for the benefit of all Caribbean member states. We would have hosted one back in 2023 in St. Lucia, and so we look forward to hosting a next one, hopefully by next year. But apart from that, national IGIF workshops. So coming out of the first workshop in St. Lucia, how it is that we would have recommended that individual member states then take up the mantle and look at galvanizing support, building, getting the buy-in of your governments, looking at your stakeholders that are within your local context and how it is to get them on board, get them sensitized as to what the IGF is, and with that, the move on the thrust towards building your country-level action plan, and with that, implementation of the IGF. So those are key activities for us. In addition, capacity building. So whether it be through webinars, whether it be through training sessions, whether it be through workshops, also the provision of resources. So we have a Caribbean Geoportal, which is a major project which would have come out of, so ESRI sits as one of the UN-GGCE America's private sector network members of the CariGeo Steering Committee. And they have been supporting the building out of Geoportal, throughout the various regions and sub-regions. And so they would have established a portal for the Caribbean. And that is key with respect to our activities because given the fact that disasters is a major challenge that we face, the importance of providing resources, so live feeds from different entities such as NOAA, such as NASA, other entities which are key with respect to us getting information that helps us to be informed and being able to act accordingly as necessary is key. So with that, the Geoportal facilitates that. It also facilitates capacity development initiatives, greater awareness throughout the region, and all of that. So that's key. In addition to the whole ensuring that different global frameworks under UN-GGCE, global UN frameworks, that we're helping to promote them being implemented throughout the region. So these are key. So I just flipped through one of the recent activities that we would have done this year. So, of course, the Caribbean, we're currently in the 2025 North Atlantic hurricane season. Last year, in July, it was Jamaica and a number of Caribbean countries, in addition to American countries, were impacted by Hurricane Beryl. Hurricane Beryl was a Category 4 hurricane, and it caused significant devastation in at least 6 countries. Coming out of that, we would have learned a number of important lessons. Lessons surrounding the importance of collaboration, the importance of partnership, the importance of different forms of geospatial information and technologies that can help to inform and guide how it is that we assess, how it is that we recover, respond, all of that, the different phases of a disaster. And so with that, based on the lessons that Jamaica would have learned, one of which is the fact that we encourage through the UN-GGCE's working group on geospatial information for disaster risk management, of which Jamaica and China more recently has co-chaired, that international body pushes for the use of geospatial information for DRM. And with that, the importance of, for member states, national mapping, but also national disaster entities collaborating. So it's not just, so it's very important to generate the information, but who is going to be using this information? So the importance of DRM entities who don't generate the data, being able to rely on those who do, and the collaboration that needs to happen. So we promote that. So that case study in terms of Jamaica, also China, and other member states who have fostered that collaboration, and what has been the success of that would have come out of that experience. And so based on the experience with respect to burial within the Caribbean region, we would have partnered with the working group on GI for disaster risk management to have this webinar. So this webinar that looks at this hurricane, what were the lessons learned, how can we then implement that for this year? So in doing that, we did not know, after we were impacted by a category 4 last year, July, that by October this year, last week in fact, we were impacted by a category 5. Just over a year. So I'm not sure how much you've seen in terms of the news and all of that, but it's really bad on ground. And with that, the lessons that we would have learned last year, we've been implementing this year. But with that also, we've learned so much more lessons that we can then help in terms of sharing to advance capacity development throughout the region and awareness, so that can also help in terms of arming member states so that they can better respond, plan, monitor, respond accordingly. So that webinar would have looked at a number of things. It would have looked at how it is that UN bodies, UN coordinating bodies, what are these bodies? How it is that they are engaged with respect to coming into a country if the country needs support. What are these entities? What are their key responsibilities? What do they need from member states in terms of guidance and support, on-the-ground support, that would then enable them to be able to function more effectively when they come in island or when they come in country? Because they come with resources, key resources, however, they need local and national support to be able to work effectively. So for us, Jamaica has a national emergency response GIS team. And for us, we conduct initial damage assessments after a major event. So after a hurricane, a flood, a major landslide event, whatnot, we would go out in the field to support the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management and also our National Emergency Operations Center to collect that data within the first 48 hours or up to a week, sometimes up to 2 weeks after an event. So that geospatial data is what's key in driving and understanding what is the exact impact of the event. And then that drives so many things in terms of identification of funding, resource allocation, recovery efforts, restoration efforts, all of that. All right? So with that, UN entities, when they do come, they need support in terms of being able to get to the areas that are most impacted. So when we go out first, we know definitely which areas are most impacted. We know which areas are more accessible. Language could also be a barrier. So although it's English, there's dialect. So broken English, patois, whatever they is. Because in Jamaica, we speak English. However, we speak patois, and each parish has its own version. So having local persons who can go out with the teams that come in island, understanding in terms of the dynamics, the areas to go, all of that is key with respect to them being able to provide the support that we need. So the webinar would have looked at all of that, in addition to the geospatial information and technologies that were used throughout. There are other projects, that the Copernicus LAC Chile project, of which I'm almost sure you would have heard about, of which we are helping to support with respect to Caribbean member states benefiting from the resources in terms of Earth observation data and also capacity development initiatives that support advancement within the region. There are others. I'm going to flip through. Okay. So representation is also key. Encouraging member states to have a voice. So attending regional sessions, such as the 12th UN-GGCE America session that's happening next door. Attending the 15th session at UN headquarters, where you're at a table, you're able to voice your opinion on particular agenda items. So what is your country's stance? What are your national priorities? What are your regional priorities? Are these priorities being met or not? That's very important. So for us as a Caribbean region, what would have been one of the important things which would have been promoted and supported by CARIGEO is ensuring that countries provide interventions. Having your voice, hearing your voice, making your voice be heard. So the last meeting of the session this year in August at UN headquarters, one of the items that was brought forward, of which was important to us as SIDS, is the importance of disasters. We're constantly impacted by troughs, different type of weather events, troughs, hurricanes, storms, etc. And so for us, disasters is important. So climate resilience, but also disaster resilience is important for us. So one of the recommendations coming out was, okay, for the agenda for next year, for the 16th session, which will be August next year, 2026, an agenda item that speaks to geospatial information for climate, environment, and resilience. There's no mention of disasters, because you can appreciate that not every disaster has a climate overlap or is related to climate. There's a difference. So there's some that aren't. And so we wanted to ensure as a region that, and especially as a region that has approximately 50% of SIDS, that that particular item remained on the table. All right? So that type of championing was key. But apart from that, any other support in terms of underground support where member states are concerned with respect to them getting geospatial support. All right? And this just speaks to some initiatives that we have going on now in Jamaica, given our response to Hurricane Melissa. Someone's going to speed through. Yes, for us in terms of future, definitely with respect to building capacity, definitely. The international charter would have been key in supporting efforts last year and are key this year. The importance of member states being authorized users of the international charter for space and major disasters, and the products, Earth observation products that one is able to access from them and process and whatnot, different from other initiatives. So having the national IGF workshops, ensuring that we're able to have other things. So under the Copernicus project, capacity building initiatives in terms of workshops that will be coming up, and also us supporting other initiatives in terms of conferences. So I will stop right there and then hand over to Nuri. And okay, wonderful.